artist is a creative by nature, though, and maybe somewhat impatient with the whole process, the whole business of policy making, and it's messy. The artists don't want that.
Yeah.
Or most artists don't want to deal with that.
Yes.
What is the solution for that? Because they're happy to write their songs, right?
Yeah.
And perform their music and go to the studio. They're comfortable there. But it sounds to me like you're saying they need to come away sometimes from that comfort zone.
Yes.
So they can best advocate for themselves.
Every time growth happens, it happens in discomfort.
Outside the comfort zone.
The comfort zone.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable in studio,
Yeah.
but you still don't like what's going on, you kind of have to reconcile with the fact that you're going to experience some discomfort to achieve a certain goal.
True.
And that's just growth.
True.
Yeah.
So how can you say that to the artist that is maybe watching this video, right? Or this episode? How can you communicate that directly to them? Sure, you understand that they're comfortable in their studios, they're comfortable in their writing their script or writing their lyrics. But you're now inviting them to think seriously about sustaining that, but also coming away sometime in order to do other things that will best position them for success.
Yeah.
How would you communicate that to the artist that is watching this episode?
I think the best way is to just, it's to individualize it. So within your circumstance, within your environment, you know what works for you and what does work for you as an artist.
Okay.
If you're a musician, it could be you're not getting booked for shows, or there's the issue of what's it called, the gatekeeping we talk about.
Right. Sure.
If you're a visual artist, it's exhibition spaces maybe are not giving you the right attention and things like that.
Right.
So I think it's stepping out of the studio, stepping out of that space, and looking for maybe community, and seeing a bunch of people or a group of people who think like you, who want to kind of address the issues that you're both facing collectively.
Okay.
And then finding spaces to address this
Okay.
to people who might have a way to tackle this issue with you.
Okay.
So if it's social halls, if it is groups, if it is societies, if it is associations that kind of advocate or lobby for your rights, participate.
Okay.
And then follow up. It's not enough to just say, I want this, and then not hold the people also who you tell accountable.
Right.
Hold them accountable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, that's one way they can begin to proactively advance their interest.
That's one way. There's many ways, but that's also.
At least one way.
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes they don't know that there's even a way to do that.
True.
So you just offer them that one way to at least get started.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Now we've talked about many things about music, but you're also a lawyer. You're really a lawyer. You went to university and studied law, and you do practice law.
Yes.
Right? Was it always your dream to be a lawyer? Because for me, I tell you why I asked the question.
Yeah.
It's kind of a conundrum to see, because I saw your one music. I watched it, I sat back and I watched it. I go, this is exciting. This is good. But she's also a lawyer. A lawyer is performing music. How is that possible, right? So was it always your dream to be a lawyer? How did that all come about?
It's a long story.
Okay.
It's a very long story.
Yeah.
But I'll try to summarize.
Okay.
So, as a child, I think for me things needed to make sense. And if you told me, don't touch the sugar, it's bad, I'd be like, okay, but why?
Yeah.
Why though?
Yeah.
So I kind of liked to interrogate a lot.
Okay.
And that also through high school, through primary school. And so I remember asking my sister, then there used to be those shows like Law and Order and Ali McBeal.
Right.
And I liked what they were doing because they were rationalizing things and they were actually bringing evidence and saying this is what it is. So I asked my sister, what do those people do? She's like, those are lawyers. Like, what do lawyers do? She said, they argue. Like, why do they argue though? They argue on case facts. I said, it looks like fun to argue.
That's right.
Yeah.
I should go argue.
I should go argue.
That's right.
And So I asked her, what do I need to do that?
Right.
She said, you need to be good in these things. I said, okay, so social sciences, yeah, English, yeah, Swahili, yeah. I think I'm good at those already.
Of course.
Those are already things I'm okay with.
Yeah.
So, that kind of became the dream ever since I was a kid. I don't think it's ever changed from But then it kind of got a bit complicated when I got to high school and discovered art. Because unfortunately during my time, art was scraped from the curriculum. So we really wanted to do it, but then by the time I got to this point at which we were supposed to do it, it was just scraped off. Yes.
For the same reason we talked about, maybe because of, resource constraint, and so art is the first thing that gets thrown out.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then in high school, I discovered art, and I had this teacher who was very intentional about me and this discovery, and she kind of held my hand through it. And so that's when I kind of awoken the artistic inclination. Yes, but law was always the thing I wanted to do when I was a kid growing up.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty profound. And thinking about the fact that the art got removed from your elementary school, when somebody like Plato would say, I would teach children, I would teach them sciences, I would teach them philosophy, I would teach them this, I would teach them that, but most importantly, I'll teach them music. But here, we take music and we chalk it.
Right.
We take art and we chalk it.
It's not important for them to... And I don't understand it.
Yeah. How are you supposed to mold the mind and the heart and the mentality of the young person without arts and music and culture and creativity?
It's a very great disservice that was done at that time.
Yeah. Thankfully, you found the way to sustain it.
Yeah.
Even though that little stuff happened.
Yeah. I'm grateful that I got the chance to explore that side. Because I don't know what kind of human being I would be if I hadn't.
I think it's to be a good human being, but you're all the more better for having explored art and culture.
True.
I think so.
Thank you.
Good. At least that's what I think. I know that I'm not alone in their thinking. And then somehow you found a way to marry art and creativity and music with your profession. So in a sense, this is the holy grail that we all seek, to be able to bring our passion and our profession, because sometimes you study one thing, out of necessity, especially in Africa.
Yeah.
You go to school and they offer you, you can do this degree, but that's not really what you want. I saw that in Ethiopia a lot. And so people go through a degree, but that's not where their passion is. You were able to find a way to marry your passion with your profession. And how did you do that? How did you come about that?
I can tell you it's not been easy. It wasn't easy because I think at some points in law school, I kind of sat, they call it sitting myself down in a meeting and saying, what are we doing here? What's really going on?
Yeah.
Because the more I got into law, I think it never really quite made sense to me. I think in third year, I even contemplated dropping out. And I thought of my parents and I said,
Now you're going to have the conversation not only with yourself, but with your parents
exactly,
as well.
Exactly. That was probably going to be the hardest one. But then I discovered intellectual property law. I think in third year or fourth year. And I thought, this kind of makes sense to me.
Right.
This is something I think I could do because it talks about, it advocates for creativity.
Right.
And innovation and things that are, coming about. And I think around this time also, there's a lot of emphasis on science and tech and technology and transfer of technologies and just new things, new areas of all that are emerging and were exciting.
Right.
And made sense to me as a young person at the time.
Right.
So I thought, let me just stick it out and see.
Yeah.
So I finished the studies and then I worked in law firms. But even then, at the law firms, I still didn't feel like I was doing.
You found your place.
I did not fit in at all.
Right.
And the more I fit in, the more I tried to fit in, the more I felt like I was draining myself.
Right.
So I just made the leap of faith, and I said, you know what, I'll just leave and just see what the universe or life has for me. And so I left normal or traditional practice, and I went to work at an art center in Karen, just completely different from my training. And I was so much more alive. I felt like I was actually doing something. And that's when I realized I couldn't do traditional practice.
Right.
Because this part of me was a part that was actually doing something, and not just seated behind a desk every day pushing paper.
Right.
And so at some point, I started blogging, and then the blogging kind of morphed into a partnership with like-minded people who were also passionate about the arts, but also in law. And we kind of started meeting a need that we didn't even, we knew it existed, we just didn't know how big a gap it was.
Right.
And so we felt pulled to form an organization. And that's kind of how it started.
Right.
Meeting a need.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. And the beauty of this is that you were sufficiently conscious to notice that in spite of the big paycheck, I don't know how it works in Kenya. In the US, if you work for certain law firms, you are paid really, really well.
Yeah.
Compared to somebody who works in an art gallery or art center, you know, you would have to beg money for transportation some days, right? But you were sufficiently aware that you knew that this place, even though it paid you a lot of money, but something about your heart and soul was missing.
Yeah.
And so you had to go on a journey to find it.
Yeah.
And you found it in your art center, art gallery?
Art center, yes.
Art center in Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. And out of there, this is evolved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would hazard a guess here that if you had continued in that law firm, I would never have met you.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
It's a very real possibility.
We may never have met.
True. True.
And I'm thankful that, you know, I met you.
Yeah.
And you took the initiative to go in search of that missing piece to your life, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really good. So, so when did you formally launch this initiative that you're talking about, that now you've been able to marry your profession and your passion, and you can do art, you can work with artists, and you now sing. You do all of that.
Yeah.
It would be unthinkable for me to think of you having the time to sing in a law firm, you know.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of, I don't know, maybe it's possible, but I've never seen any lawyer in a law firm
do it.
Yeah, I never seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.